Hello. Today we're gonna be talking about the Marvel CRM software nonprofit edition. All right, so when we first log into the system, the first thing that we're gonna be seeing, which is the ecosystem, which will see all our volunteers, donors, your community members with their name, their phone number, their email address, and their creation date, right? Also, if you want to change how the ecosystem tab columns looks like, we can do that by under the columns. Under here, if you want to see the additional emails, this can be your volunteers, additional information, additional phones. You can add them under here, and you can just simply uncheck the mark, and that way you can add an additional column inside the ecosystem tab. Also, we also have an option to upload all your contacts in bulk. Unlimited bulk option. There is no limit to importing your contacts, such as your donors, volunteers, or your community members, right? In order to do that, we're gonna begin the contacts, select in the contacts. Next, as long as your file is .csv file, you can upload as many contacts as you want. There is no limit to it, right? You also have three options. You can either create the contacts, or create and update the contacts, or update the existing contacts that you already have inside the system. Once you have the CSV file, the third option is going to be the mapping, which the system will check which columns that you put, like the first name columns. In the second column, maybe a last name, third column, the email, and so forth, right? The system will check if you did that correctly. If you did it correctly, you will go to the fourth option, which is verify. And after that, you can click on submit, and all your contacts will show up in this format. Okay? Now let's move on to the chat. Under the chat, you can see all your donors, all your volunteers, all your community members' conversation history. On the left side, you can see their name or email. And on the middle, if you select a specific contact, in the middle, you can see the conversation history with that specific, let's just say, a volunteer, right? And below that, we also can email them or text them as well. We have those options. And on the right side, we can see their contact information, such as their phone number and email. And on the very right side, we have the search link icons, right? You can click them. For example, if you want to make an appointment through here, you can do a quick appointment by just clicking that book appointment plus button. And after that, you can make your appointment through it this way as well. You can also create custom tasks for this specific volunteer. You can add a title, description. You also have an option assigned to one of your coworkers to deal with this appointment as well. And lastly, you can also create custom notes for this specific volunteer too. You have that option. Moving on to the calendars. Under the calendars, you can make your appointments, as you can see. So on the right side, we have the monthly, weekly, and daily view. Also, if you want to create a brand new appointment, you're going to be clicking the plus new. And then here, you're going to be selecting the calendar, appointment title, team member, and last, you're going to be selecting the contact for that appointment. Then if you click on book appointment, that appointment will update your dashboard. And on the right side, we also have a mini calendar for ease of access. And below that, we have calendars and users. So inside the system, we can create unlimited calendars, right? There's no limit to you can create unlimited calendars. These calendars can be for your volunteers, or one other can be for your donors, or other can be for your community members. Or you can make these multiple calendars. And each of the calendars that you make, you can also add users to them. We basically given permissions to those users to view those specific calendars that you just make. And that's going to be under here by selecting the user that you want them to see. And that way they can see what you've been working on inside this calendar. One last thing about the calendars is inside the system, our calendar are fully integrated with Outlook and Gmail. It's two-way integrated, what that means is whatever the appointments that you made inside the system, it will also reflect on your Gmail/Outlook work email addresses, right? And vice versa. Whichever you make appointment on, your work email, work Gmail, or work Outlook, it will also reflect inside here. So it's two-way integrated. Now let's move to projections, which is going to be your opportunities, right? It's going to be your pipelines. The first thing here you're going to be doing is we're going to be adding a new pipelines. Under is you can see all the existing ones, but if you want to make a brand new one, we're going to be creating a new pipeline. We can add our name and the stages, right? We can add unlimited stages. We can also use this arrows to reorder the stage columns as well. Once this is done, we're going to click on save. After that, it's going to be show up in here. Once we save our pipeline, we're going to be going to our projections, and we're gonna be choosing that pipeline that we just did, right? So as you can see, this is our example pipeline, the grant management pipeline, and we can see the timeline of this uh, pipeline, as you can see here. So, first column is, is learning. It's like, the grants learning. The second is checking, make sure, they're eligible, and so forth, right? We can see the whole timeline. Also, our projection dashboard is fully interactive, which what that means is we can drag and drop contacts, your volunteers, your donors, right? We can also drop down like this. Everything drags and dropping. There is no coding inside the system. If you click on a specific contact, what that will give you is it will give the details of this opportunity, such as their name, email, basically their contact information, right? Below that, we can see the opportunity details, such as the opportunity name, the pipeline, the stages, and so forth, right? They can see all, and with the opportunity value, of course, they can see the information. Also, from here, we can make an appointment for this contact as well. We have the option. We can create tasks, custom notes, and so forth, right? We have all those options. And we can do the same things by those icons as well, right? If you want to make it a lot quicker, you can call the contact inside the system. You can view the conversation. You can create tags, custom note, or you can also create custom task. And last, you can make the appointment as well by just clicking on it, okay? And one last thing about here is like if you want to add a brand new opportunity, we can simply click on add opportunity button. And under here, we're gonna be choosing let's just say our volunteer, right? Let's choose this contact. Then we can add my opportunity name, my stage, their value, the pipeline, and so forth, right? Once this is done, I can hit on create. After that, it will show up under this dashboard, and you can simply move them around based on their status. Now let's move into the docs and collections. Under here, we can view our invoices, estimates. We can also create documents and contracts. And lastly, we also have several payment integration providers, such as PayPal, Stripe, which we'll talk in a minute. And now let's move on to the documents and contracts. And under here, as you can see, we already have existing documents/contracts, but let's make a brand new one. When we try to make a brand new one, as you can see, we have several options to choose from. We can either create a new document or upload the existing PDF, or we can import from our template library, which I highly suggest because we have so much to choose from. We'll go into detail later on, but for now, let's hit on new document. And the first thing that we're going to be seeing is this blank page, right? So we're going to be adding information to this page. In order to add information, we're going to be working with something called elements. Under the elements, as you can see, we have several elements to choose from, such as text, image, video, and so forth, right? But for this example, I'm gonna, by the way, everything is drag and drop, as you can see. I'm gonna drop my text column, and I'm gonna name this document, make it simple. Also, I'm gonna be adding my image. Let's just say an image. Okay, let's just say I have an image here. And lastly, I'm gonna add my signature. So I'm gonna be keep it this way, right? And I'm also gonna make this a bit customized. I'm also gonna put my name like this. Okay. Once this is done, I'm gonna click and save. And I saw an option to send it to a specific volunteer or donor too. That option, but for now, I'm just gonna save it. And once I go back, I'm gonna be seeing that brand new document that I just created under right here, as you can see, with the name, the status, and the name of the contact, and value, right? So this is how we can create a document/contracts inside the system. One last thing under this tab is integrations. So as you can see, we have integrated with different payment providers, such as Stripe, PayPal, Square, and so forth. And it will only take you like 3 clicks, all right? Basically, it's just going to be clicking on connect, and that will take you that specific payment provider's credential site. Basically a login page, and after that, if you put the credentials for that payment provider, you're basically set, and that's it, right? And it's just a one-time thing, and you don't have to do it again. Once it's set, you're good to go. Moving on to the markup, which is going to be your, like your marketing, right? The first thing that we're going to be seeing under the markup is your social media management. Under here, we can connect multiple social media accounts under different socials, right? As you can see, we already connected several of them, but if you want to do it from the scratch, you're going to be clicking on the settings icon. And under here, as you can see, we can connect with Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, and so forth, right? We can connect all those social media accounts. Once this is connected, we can go back and we can see all our connected accounts, right? They're all selected at the moment. And we can also see in the middle our previous existing posts that we published beforehand, right? But if you want to make a brand new post, you're simply going to be clicking on new post and clicking on the create new post. And the first thing here is we're going to be choosing under which account that we're going to be posting from, but we're going to be posting from all these three accounts which I selected. By the way, we don't restrict you to connect one account per social media. We don't do that. That means you can connect multiple accounts under one social media. So that will give you flexibility in the long run. Okay. So once we choose which accounts that we're going to be posting from, as you can see, we're going to be typing our content. And on the right side, you can see the preview of how it's going to look like at the end. So if I type something here, for example, like I can just type test, as you can see, I can see the preview. But let's just say I'm stuck on the idea, I cannot think of any content. So that's why we created this AI tool here that will help you generate content. And the first thing that we need to do here is we need to give the content title. What is it going to be? So I'm just going to put volunteering or just put volunteer. Okay. So that's gonna be my content title, and I'm gonna be description, and I'm gonna keep it the same. The keyword gonna be the same, and I want the writing tone to be professional, and the link to content is small. And I want 3 examples of this content. So if I click on generate, what that's gonna give me is it's gonna give me the 3 variation of the content under volunteer. Okay. So as you can see, I have 3 options here. I'm gonna go with this first one. So let's click on this. What that did is copy and paste it on the right side. So in here, I can make my own changes, right? But I'm going to keep it the same. I'm going to click on continue. And that basically is going to copy and pasting through here. So I can see the preview here, as you can see, right? You also have an option to add an image as well from here. But for this example, I'm just going to leave it as it is. And once you are done, you're going to be posting it, right? But posting, you have a couple options to choose from. You can either post it now. You can schedule a post for some other time. You can have an option to send it for approval, such as, in your community members, you can send them first, then you can make it public, or you can schedule a recording post as well for future use, like next week and month later, right? For your volunteers, donors, etc. Right? You have those options. Once it's done again, you can click on post, and after that, you're going to be seeing all your published posts under this dashboard right here that we're looking at right now. Let's move to the email campaigns. Under the email campaigns, we can create unlimited bulk email campaigns that you can send unlimited. There is no limit to it. So in order to do that, as you can see, we already have existing ones, but let's create from scratch, plus new. Again, you have a couple of options, either templates, but I'm going to go with blank. And for ease of use, I'm going to choose my design editor, right? Just a drag and drop editing, basically. So after choosing that, I'm going to be editing my email campaign. So I don't like how this looks, so I'm going to be deleting this, and I'm going to add an, let's just call image. Let's just say I have an image here. Also, I want to add a button, and I'm going to customize this button, and I want to change the button text. I'm going to say, click me, okay? Something simple. Then I'm going to save this from top right. And after saving it, I'm going to send or schedule it from the top right one more time. And this is the page that we're going to be coming into. In here, we have couples option to send it. You can either send it now, schedule it, or batch schedule it. The first option, send it now, is basic. You're going to be putting your sender email. Your sender name is optional. The subject line of the email campaign. Now we're going to be choosing the recipients, right? Who you're going to be sending to. If you choose all contacts, it will choose all the contacts inside your account. But if I want to do one by one, we can still do one by one as well of your recipient of choice. Below that, we have settings. I highly suggest you to enable track click settings, because if you enable this, each email campaigns that you're going to be sending, you're going to get information from that, right? You're going to be getting information from your volunteers, your donors, such as how many of them got delivered, how many of them are open, how many of them got a spam complaint, and so forth, right? That will give you the statistic for each email campaigns that you're going to be sending it. I also highly suggest you to enable this option as well, resend email to unopened. What this will help you is that just say one of your volunteers doesn't open their email, if you put a day, like a time limit here, for example, a day, right? So if they didn't open their email in 1 day period, the system will resend it again. You don't have to do anything, right? It will send it for you as long as you put the time here. And that's simple. That will help you in the long run as well. And on the right side, you can see the preview of the email campaign. If everything looks good, you can click on review and send, and that's it. It's that simple. Our next option is the scheduling, right? Again, the only difference here is like the scheduling the campaign post, right? We're basically choosing the date and the time, and the rest is the same, right? With your sender email, subject line, recipients, all your settings. And on the right side is the preview. If everything looks good, you can click review and schedule, and that way your campaign will be sent to all your recipients of your choice. And our last setting is the batch scheduling. So let's talk about what is batch scheduling. Let's just say you're going to be sending 1,000 email campaigns to your volunteers in 1 week period, but you don't want to send them in 1 day. Technically, you could, but you don't want to, right? Because there's a high chance all those 1,000 emails, if you send in a day, will go to your volunteers' spam, not inbox. So that's why we created this batch scheduling. Batch scheduling will help you drip those emails like 100 a day instead of 1,000 a day. So that's why we're gonna be choosing for the batch scheduling. The first thing that we'll do is we're choosing date and time and the batch quantity, and I will put in 100 a day. Okay, then I'm going to be choosing which days that I'm going to be sending on and specify the start and end time, and I'm just set. Okay, so that will help me send total of 1,000 emails in a week with 100 a day to my donors, to my volunteers, to my community members, right? So that will help me. And the rest of the settings is the same. It's going to be your sender email, name, campaign, subject line, and your recipients with your settings. And the last thing you're going to be doing is check in a preview and click on the review and schedule it, and you're good to go. You don't have to do anything again. That's set. Okay. So this is basically how we can manage our email campaigns inside our system. Now let's move on to the automated marketing, which is going to be your workflows. As you can see, we have several existing workflows, but if you want to create a brand new one, you can, or you can select from our templates. So for the templates, we have several templates, as you can see, right? This will help your reach to your community members, to your donors, to your volunteers in a lot easier, right? If you created a workflow. As you can see, we have several. But let's go back. Let me give you an example on the one we already have, which is the email and SMS delivery status. We're currently using this as an active, actually. So let me tell you how this specific workflow works. So let's just say, first of all, let's talk about what are those rectangles. So these rectangles we call them triggers. So like a workflow needs something to trigger, right? It needs that first step. That's why we need the trigger first. So if you click on trigger, as you can see, we have so much workflow trigger to choose from. This can be contacts, events, appointments, or courses and so forth, right? You can see them all under here. And for this example, I'm gonna go with contact created, and I'm gonna save this trigger. Now, as you can see, this is changed. So how this workflow is gonna be working now, whenever I create a new contact inside the system, now this workflow will be triggered, which means it's gonna be starting. And our next step is going to be choosing the action, right? So now we first created the trigger, how it's going to start. Then we're going to be choosing what's going to do next. And we're going to do that by choosing the action. And that's when this plus button comes handy, because they are the actions, right? As you can see right here. So it's the same way with the triggers. We have so much action steps to choose from. And again, this can be for contacts, for communication, for like conditions and so forth, right? But for this example, I did an action with SMS and email. So these are two actions. So whenever I created a contact, it's going to send an SMS and an email to that specific contact that we just created. You can customize your SMS message under here, and same thing with email. You can customize what it's going to send inside those emails and SMS. Once this is set, now we're going to be setting a condition, right? This condition, as you can see, we put 3 conditions. The first is yes, means if that contact is open your emails and SMS, it will go right away. If that volunteer didn't open it, and it will wait a day, and it will send it again for you after a day. See, this is another condition I'll put. And our last option, which is done, if these 2 conditions are neither of them are met, is going to be the third option, which is going to be none of them, right? It's not going to send anything to that specific donor, volunteer, or one of your community members, right? So this is the way as you can see, this is a simple workflow. Under here, we can go as complicated as we want or as simple as we want, right? So it really depends on your preference and what you do. And once this is done, we can click on save from the top right. And after that, we can publish it from here. So if you enable this, and after that, you're all good to go, and that workflow will be active. Okay. Now, we are in the online stores and website. Under here, we can create landing page for your donors. You can create a website for your volunteers or all your community members to reach out to you, right? You can create forms, surveys, and so forth. For example, let's go to websites. Under the website, as you can see, we already have existing ones, but let's just say we're going to be creating it from scratch. We can click plus new website. We have 2 options to choose from. We can either do this from blank, or template. But again, I highly suggest you use a template because as you can see right now, we have so much to choose from, and it will be a lot easier in the long run, and it will be saving you time as well if you go with the template. And let's just say you can also search it. Let's put volunteer, for example. So we have this foundation sample website. So when you click on that specific template, you can be reading the description of the template as well, as you can see right here. And if you want to see the preview of the website, you can make this bigger, and you're going to be seeing the preview of that website if you like it or not, as you can see right here. You can see everything one by one. You also have an option to hit the forward, and if you hit continue, what that will do is it will save this template website to your website's dashboard, and that way you can start your editing. But for this example, I'm going to go with the one with that we already have, the existing. So let's go with like educational tutoring, for example, right? When you click on that template, is you're going to be seeing all of the pages of that website. And if you want to make any edits, you can simply come here, and I'm going to be adding in a new tab, and that will take me to a new tab to work on my website. So under here, I can basically change anything that I'm seeing, right? I can change the background, layout, the way it looks, the themes, and so forth, right? If I want to add information, I'm going to be doing that by adding elements from the top left. Under here, as you can see, we have so much elements to choose from. You can add a headline, sub-headline, form, and so forth, right? So if I want to add a headline, again, everything drag and dropping. I'm going to drop here, and I can change this. I can change how this looks, what does it say, and so forth, right? And also we can add sections, rows, elements again, global sections. I can also have preview sections here to help you, save time to make your website completed faster. Like we have preview section for like about section, for example, right? Logo or like FAQs. For example, if I want to add this FAQ to this website, I can simply drag and drop this, and I can drop it right here. And now I'm done, right? So what am I gonna do is I'm just gonna change what does it say. I can add more tabs and so forth. It's all up to the preference. And once this is done, I can click on save, and I can also publish it. But before publish it, in the middle here, the system will give you a custom URL for this website. But you also have an option to connect your custom domain as well, right? To your own custom domain. In order to do that, you're gonna be clicking connect domain, and we're gonna be adding the domain to the system first. And after that, you can come here and you can choose a specific domain of your choice. And if you click on save, that URL will change to your custom URL. And that way, when you click publish at the top right, and it will be online, your website will be online under your custom domain. Okay. Now let's go back. So again, with all our landing page, like our forms, surveys, quizzes, right? They all work in the same format. You can either create a form from scratch, or you can choose from the template. All right, now let's move on to the biz review, which is going to be all your reviews of your social media accounts, for example, right? How many invites you got from your, how many review receipt from your volunteers, your donors, you're going to be seeing them under here. The next thing is going to be the LMS and portals. Under here, you can create a private portal for each of your volunteer, each of your donor, each of your community members, right? Under here, they can put their more private information, such as the documents or contracts. They can put all of them by using the client portal URL that the system already gave you. If you click on that again, it's going to take you to another tab. Under here, this is going to be their own private portal, right? They can put the contracts, their documents, they can put all of them under here if they want to have a more private section to put all their important information. Okay, and whoever you invite, that you can invite your volunteers, donors, it will show up in here how many users are using and how many users are invited, basically. Okay, moving on to the file storage. This is basically your storage, right? You can upload your images, your videos, all your attachments, all your documents. You can upload them all on here. If you upload them here, it will show up in one place like this. Also, you have an option to create folders such as like this format, your custom folders, to make them look more organized and easy to find for each of the media that you upload. Moving on to the management reports. Under here, you can create custom reports. We already have existing reports under here as well, such as Google Reports. And under here, you can see all your social media impressions, clicks, Same thing goes with Facebook. You can see all your impressions, clicks, conversions, and so forth, right? Also, we created this appointment reporting, right? If you want to see all your appointments, all your booked appointments, all your confirmed appointments, right? You can see them all under here. If you don't like any of this, if you want to create your own custom report, you can absolutely do that as well by coming up to the custom reports. Then we have this new report from the top right. If you click on that, and I'm going to be creating the create a blank report. After you selecting that, now I can add my reports to whatever like my preference, right? The first page will be your dates, day and dates, and below that is gonna be your report. So let's add from the top left by a widget. So for reports, instead of elements, we work with something called widgets. So as you can see, we have several widgets to choose from. This can be a contacts, appointments, opportunities, emails, right? So let's just say appointments. Under the appointment widget, we have sub widgets, as you can see. Like if I want to see all my appointment counts, let's just go with that actually. And if I click on save, I can see all my appointment counts currently at 0. Okay. And let's just say if I don't like how this looks, I can change it to the donut chart type, line, or bar, right? I can check how it looks as well. And if I want to add more information, such as like, let's go with widgets again, all the contacts counts, and I can save this. Here we go, right? And I can make them smaller, bigger. I can change how it looks. Let's make this bigger. Now, I don't like how this looks. Oh, by the way, if you click on that specific widget, it will give you a detailed information such as each of your volunteers or donors' name, their contact information, and so forth, right? And that way, you can save this. And once the report is done, you can save it, or you have option to send or schedule it as well for your reports to your donors, your volunteers, or one of your community members. Okay. And once I go back, I'm going to be seeing the report that I just created right here. All right, moving on to the KPIs, which is going to be your key performance indicators. So under here, you can basically see, all your appointment counts, all your contact counts, right? You can see all your like funnels, all your tasks, right? So this is fully customizable. You can customize it to your preference. Also, you have an option to add multiple layers of dashboard as well. You can add a dashboard for example, just for volunteer, or other dashboard just for donors, or other dashboard just for your community or your community members, right? You can create multiple dashboard in this format, and once you create it, you can change it how it looks basically. All right, so this sums up the whole overview of the Marvelous software system, nonprofit edition. Thank you for listening.